Hello, and welcome to your friendly and familiar podcast, Fit the Shoe. Tune in to hear my stories and thoughts. On to the show. We are opening up today a book called Me. A book called Crystal. More about myself, some things that you guys don't know about me. First things first, I played piano for, I think it was 3 years. And I played piano when I was really little. I think I was 8. That's not really little, but 8. 8 through 10, I think it was. And I never actually wanted to become like a professional piano player. I just said, I'm just going to stick to the basics. And then I quit. But then again, I was like 10 when I stopped. And I got right back into it when I was around 16. My mom actually had a grand piano, I think. I might be extending it too much. It was a big piano, and it was in the living room. It was collecting dust, and I remember that I kind of just started making up my own songs on the piano. And I am the kind of person that can recognize sounds, so I don't necessarily read the notes for a piano, but I can listen to the sounds and know which key goes where, or which one is which. So I wrote a couple songs, and then I guess that transitions into my next thing. And so I also do some songwriting. I also write my own music. I've never published anything, but, I may be publishing something, but we're not going to get too into that. But I also write my own songs. And then transitioning from that, it goes piano, songs, and then I also write poems. I don't necessarily write poems anymore like I used to. A lot of my poems were kind of sad. And that kind of goes back to episode 4, Poetic Force, when I talked about the poems that I wrote. This is in season 1, but it's definitely a big deal for me as far as poems go, because there was a lot of things that needed to be expressed, and I couldn't find the words for them, so I just had to write them down on a piece of paper and kind of tuck my emotions away. But I guess I could write a poem now, and it wouldn't be sad, which is awesome, because I don't want to put myself in that mindset. And sometimes when I was writing poems, I had to put myself in a sad mindset in order to feel like, okay, I have to write this poem now. So that probably is not too healthy, but I did that for a while. Another thing that I like to do, I guess, and it's funny because all the things I'm going to mention, not one is a sport. I did play a few sports. I've tried volleyball. I tried soccer. I feel like there was more, but no, there's really not. I guess you could say I played basketball, but just for fun. Like, it was nothing serious. I don't know much about sports, so I'm on the musician side. So I play piano. I also sing. I write poems, and I also draw. I do some sketching, I guess. Sometimes it's not like really a big passion for me. I don't practice it every day, but I can sketch, I guess. I've been told that I can draw pretty well. I don't think I'm like a professional or anything. Like I said, like with the piano, with everything I do, I feel like I'm not a professional. I can just do these things, but I have never taken the steps forward to actually move along with them, which is obviously everyone has that difficulty where you have, you're born with a lot of gifts. God gives you gifts or talents, or you yourself can create your own talents. You start getting into cooking or whatever, and then you start to realize I could actually like do something with this, but you don't. That's kind of like where I am, and I guess podcasting was just the one thing that I said, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm actually going to try to do it big. So I went ahead and moved forward because I love talking. I love, opening myself up to people. I love telling you guys stories and more about myself. So I guess you could say that podcasting is added to the list of the things that I can do. Aside from those couple things that I can do, some things that I've been recently getting into is cooking, and that's kind of why I mentioned cooking. So cooking has been a oddly satisfying thing. I used to make like Tyson chicken in the oven with like tater tots. Like, that was my dinner every day. Frozen vegetables. Everything was like frozen. Just frozen, throw it in the oven, because who has time to cook? Like, I don't have time to just dedicate 2 hours of my day to make, fettuccine Alfredo. So I finally decided I'm gonna take some time out of my day to actually cook because I want to start eating healthier. It was actually recommended by a friend of a friend, and so I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and start cooking. So I did, and I have like a Betty Crocker book that's so amazing. It has so many recipes for like soups and desserts and like main meals, appetizers. It's just so much. And so I've been learning a lot lately with cooking. So that's probably just the one thing that I guess I could add to my list, and that's that I do love cooking. You guys will see me on my Instagram a lot posting like cooking stories and sometimes recipes. Sometimes I find recipes that I'm like, I have to share with you guys. But a very small amount of them are posted because, I'm getting into cooking and I don't want to post like an embarrassing raw chicken that didn't get cooked. So, I guess that's kind of like on my next steps to try to actually take serious. And that's that I want to continue to dedicate time towards cooking. But those are a few things, guys, about me that I don't normally post out on social media or talk about. I guess you could say they're like hidden talents. If there are any hidden talents that you guys have that are similar to the ones that I have, I'd love to talk to you guys about that. And, if you want to collaborate, that's pretty cool. We could also, exchange ideas. Maybe not like right away, like make it something big. But I would love, if you play the piano, I would love to really hear you play the piano. If you are a podcaster, I would love to hear a podcast of yours. If you write music, poems, just kind of the stuff that I know a little bit more about. If you come up to me and say this is what basketball is like, I'm gonna probably decline because I don't know. I do not know anything about basketball. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just like, that's not my lane. So definitely, guys, send me an email or feel free to message me on Instagram at Riley Culture, and I'll go ahead and respond back to you. Thank you for stopping by. Stay tuned to the next episode. If you haven't already yet, follow me on Instagram at Riley Culture. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at rileyculture@gmail.com.